the reason why we do this event is because, first off, I love diamonds, and I love bourbon. And I went to college at the University of Maryland, and I studied marketing, and instead of having like a boring job where I would, get to work in an office all day, I got lucky because my dad and my uncle started this company in New York City on 7 West 45th Street. And my uncle's name is Robert, my dad's name is Irwin. So I got to come back to Memphis and figured I'd teach people like, the elusiveness of diamonds and, try to get a jewelry store that was a little bit more laid back, because I know I've been doing this my entire life and I am completely afraid when I go into a jewelry store. I'm afraid to touch stuff. I'm afraid the salesperson behind the counter might look at me weird. I'm just like completely afraid. So I wanted to kind of tear down those walls. And that's why we do this event. So here's the objective of buying an engagement ring is pretty simple. You want to get her or him or whoever it is to say yes without exerting a ton of energy and without going through a ton of stress, right? Does that sound about right to everybody?
Yes, that's it.
All right. Cool, I'm getting amens here. So it's very easy to do this. All you need to know is like 4 different things. You got to find a jeweler. You got to know what her, his, or their style is. You need to figure out what your budget is, and you need a little bit of technical information because knowledge is always power, especially when you're shopping for something as expensive as an engagement ring. So we'll start with how to find a jeweler. So you could use the internet. You could look at reviews. You could search for diamond engagement rings Memphis or wherever you're at. And Google and Yelp and all those companies, they all have reviews. I shy away from Yelp, but Google definitely, you can get some very good reviews from. And you can ask friends. I'm sure everybody's got a friend that's engaged or married, right?
As someone that went to a lot of different jewelry stores, you stay here and you'll be good.
Yeah,
Good deal.
That was good.
Hey, extra shot of bourbon for it, Ryan. I think you got to take into account a couple of things. Are you going to need custom work? Are you going to need repair work after the sale? Is an appraisal going to cost you extra? If you're going to need financing, does the jewelry store offer financing? What warranties and guarantees does the jeweler have? Those are just some of the things that you need to figure out when finding a jeweler. And then the next thing that's important is you got to figure out what style of a ring do you want. Is it contemporary, vintage, halo, all kinds of different styles out there. And so I like to call this learn how to be a spy. And so the chief objective of a spy is to blend in, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. Great spy blends into any atmosphere. So here's some advice. First off, keep your gear to a minimum. When you leave here, you're gonna get a backpack and it's gonna have a t-shirt and a bunch of other swag in it. And if you want her to be surprised, don't leave it on the kitchen counter. If you need to, dig a hole in your backyard, put it in there and cover it up until you're ready to propose. That's really important. And then if you see, if you're at a party and her and her friends are talking about engagement rings, or she's on a Pinterest page or something like that, kind of spy. Know what she likes. Get involved in the conversation. Ask friends, ask family what they think. So you want to partake in all the activities that are available to you with her or him or whoever it is, so you can kind of get an idea of what she likes. If you're shopping on the internet, this is very, very, very important, and you live in a house with your significant other, delete the cookies. And the reason is because people like me will serve up ads after you leave my website to try to get you to come back. And it's not just me, it's everybody in the world now. So delete the cookies, use a private browser, that's very important. Delete yourself from the internet. If you're caught, what do you do?
Run.
Deny, or run. And you can always plead the fifth and be silent if you get caught too. You could get a disguise, that's always a good idea. It's not necessary, but it's fun. So that's a good one. Dollars and cents, this is very important. Budget is pretty much about half of it. Most people, they go to a jewelry store and they're afraid to tell people how much they want to spend because they think then the jeweler is going to go ahead and sell them something overpriced, that type of deal. But it's very important for you to know ahead of time what your budget is, and if you did your research and you found the right jeweler, telling the jeweler your budget should not be a problem. People say you should spend 2 months' salary or 3 months' salary. I don't know many people that do that. I mean, I think that's just like a, you know, an arbitrary rule. Wouldn't you say so, Cindy?
I think it's a jewelry shop play.
Right, yeah.
It starts
I mean,
by De Beers as a marketing thing.
exactly. And if you want to spend 2 months' salary or 6 months or 12, I'm happy. Don't worry. But if you want to spend like an hour's pay, I'm good with that too. So a reputable jeweler will definitely help you stick within that budget, and you should be comfortable with whatever your budget is, and that your jeweler should be comfortable and be able to show you things within that budget. If they try to get you to, you know, kill the budget, I'm not talking about spending a few $100 or $1,000 more. I'm talking about like, you know, like, run out of there, get out, quick. Oh, this is really important. You want to buy the best ring you can without going into major debt, because you want the ring to be a blessing and not a curse. If you buy a ring and you're in major debt, what's going to happen when you want to go out with your friends on the weekends? You going to be able to go with them? Probably not. You're going to be the guy staying home doing nothing. And that's not a good way to start your new life, because that's what it is. For a lot of people, size really does matter. And so if size does matter and your budget isn't supersized, then you can consider a ring or a diamond that is a little bit smaller but appears to be a little bit larger. And I actually have some examples, so I'll pass them around for you. How does this work? So these are 2 1-carat diamonds, and you'll notice you can pass them around. I'm going to start with you. You've already bought something here, so I don't have to worry about you. But there's 2 1-carat. Does one of them appear a little bit larger?
Mm-hmm.
Slightly.
Slightly.
Yeah.
Define 1 carat.
Define 1 carat. That's between 0.92 and 1. So if you get a 0.92 carat, it might appear just as big as a 1 carat diamond, but it will cost you about 20 to 30% less. So that's a good thing. And then, hey Rob, can you pull out like maybe a halo ring and pass it around?
Sure.
So that way people can see, like a halo can add to, you know, how big it actually looks.
Well, how come one of them looks bigger than the other one?
Well, because of the way it's cut.
Oh.
So one of them's just cut. It's hard. Those 2, I probably didn't pick the greatest examples out, but those 2 look, you know, pretty. They're both very pretty, but one of them does look slightly larger. Would you agree? Did you notice that? Yeah. Okay. Cool. The other thing you could do that would help a little bit is sacrificing a little bit of color and clarity in order to get a bigger, brighter diamond. So something like this would cost you about $6,500, and it's 1.61, and you notice it's got a little bit of a tint to it, right?
Good.
I'm gonna let you pass that one around too.
Here's the
Oh, cool.
I don't know who has the diamond,
Well, they have.
Oh, they
it's
have.
around here
Okay.
somewhere, yeah.
Exactly what I want.
but, oh,
So that's got,
What grade is this? What color?
it's probably on the color grading scale around an L. But you can see it looks pretty white, doesn't it?
I think this one's a little bigger. Interesting.
It's pretty. So that's kind of cool. And then this is a halo mounting, and you could always put a diamond in the center of that, and it will make a smaller diamond appear to be a lot larger. So that's kind of cool. The other thing, just one last thing, there's new technology out there where diamonds are able to, gem quality diamonds, are able to be grown in a greenhouse or a laboratory. They're diamonds. They're chemically, optically, and physically exactly the same as a mined diamond. The only difference is where they come from, the origin. One comes from above the earth and one comes from below. One took 1 billion years to form, the other one took about 12 weeks. And so that's the real difference between those two. But if you consider buying the lab or a greenhouse grown, you could probably save 30 to 40% and get a bigger, brighter diamond too.
the halo. So if you imagine this diamond in the
So
center
same,
there,
I
it
mean,
makes the
same
overall
quality and
diamond.
everything?
Yeah, yeah. There's all different qualities when they come out of the process. They're all different qualities. Yeah. So
So is there, to buy a lab-grown diamond, is it that much different to buy one that's took 10,000 years, or?
well, I mean, if you want something that's 10,000 years old, yes, but otherwise, no.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no difference. I mean, you're a diamond and it's a diamond.
Like when you-
So there's 2 types of engagement rings that you can buy. And Rob, maybe you can help me and pull a couple of these out. Cool. We can pass them around so everybody can see. You buy something with the composite center. Hey, you know what would look great in a composite center? This is a 3-stone one that we have over there that's like either 1 or 1.5 carats.
Gotcha.
That's a great one to pass around. And a composite center means that the center of the ring is made using many small diamonds, and it gives it a bigger, brighter look, and it's less money. And then there's the solid center diamond, which is
There's one single diamond in the
like
middle.
one of these.
Then they put
They
halos
put in
around
it.
each one, so. all
And a
together.
diamond, if you're gonna buy one of these, if you're gonna buy a loose diamond, it's important to know the four
So you got a
C's.
small carat.
Those are the four things that determine a diamond's value. So, you got the carat weight, how much the diamond is weighed. Weighs is measured in carats, what shape the diamond is and how the cut affects the sparkle. The color, the scale starts with a D and goes all the way to a Z. I have no clue why, but it starts at a D and goes to a Z. And then clarity, internally flawless to lots of flaws. We all have a lot of flaws, so, you know, flaws aren't necessarily a bad thing. Yes, Johnny?
They've added a C to that, you know that.
What's that?
Confidence in your jeweler.
That's true.
Oh, I like that.
Good point.
Thank you, Johnny.
And I've got this, I've got the 4 C's chart here, and I printed a bunch off, and if you guys decide to shop elsewhere, you're done, so you don't get to do this. If you guys decide to shop elsewhere and you want a cheat sheet and you want to be able to carry it with you, you can take one of these with you, and, you know, when you go into the jewelry store, you can kind of ask questions based upon these 4 different characteristics that determine a diamond's value.
I was gonna say, you might wanna, encourage Rodney to trade up, because we got a great training program.
Right, yeah. We'll talk about that after.
Yeah.
Hey, Howie,
Yeah.
if you had,
He's got it
if
last
there was
week.
one
He's
thing
very happy
that
with
you
it
felt
already.
like
Oh,
would,
wait, maybe a little bit.
that would make a big difference if you're looking
Yeah,
at a
so you have to
diamond
like
that
get
makes
the
it
right angle.
the prettiest diamond, that's
That I
ultimately what
personally
everybody wants.
like, yes.
Everybody wants just a really pretty diamond, so
Yeah.
what one of these do you think matters the most?
I like cut.
Me too.
So I'll go with a small diamond, and I would rather get a really well cut diamond because it's going to sparkle. It's going to be it's going to be brighter. Now the next slide, this is my favorite one and the most important that I think that everybody should know about, because over the past 5 or 10 years I've been doing this. People go around and they're like, I saw a GVS1 at so-and-so jewelry store, and it was 1 carat and it was $3,000. And I say, no, you didn't. And they say, yes, I did. That's what they told me. And I said, well, did you get it in writing? Did they show it to you on a diamond certificate or anything like that? And they say, yes. And I ask them what kind of certificate it is, and they have no idea. So I'm going to show you something. This is very important if you're buying a loose diamond and you care for it. If somebody tells you that they're giving you a GVS1 and it's a loose diamond, you get one of these from the Gemological Institute of America. This is the most accurate grading certificate that they have in the United States. There's this, and then there's everything else. So if you come to me and you tell me the same thing for this, I'm going to ask you where, can you buy me a few, that type of thing. Because I know it should cost a lot more money. But this is what one of them looks like. Feel free to pull them out here and kind of look. There's also uncertified diamonds like this one right here that I buy in parcels and put my own grades on. These are just as good. That's just a little different. It's got pedigree. Is all it is.
So are diamonds a decent investment? Do they go up in price like anything else? Or
They
how does
have.
that work?
They have over the past, yeah, they have. What the market's going to do in the future, I'm not into that. I sell engagement rings. That's what I'm kind of into. But if you're concerned with that, the one thing that we do is if you bought a diamond this year and you wanted to upgrade it at any given time, you get exactly what you paid for towards the purchase of a new diamond. You only pay the difference. Difference can be as little as $1. So that's kind of how that works. Buying diamonds online, you can buy anything online, like anything. You could buy like Russian people online, or like Somali pirates if you want. Like you can buy anything you want online. So people have started buying diamonds online, and it is really possible to get an unbelievable, extraordinary deal online. It's also possible to get royally ripped off too. And one of the reasons for that is the companies that list the diamonds online don't actually have inventory in the diamonds. They don't take a position in it. If I buy this diamond, it's because I love it. Like only about 10% of the diamonds that I see on a yearly basis I buy because I'm picky. If you take anybody's inventory and you list it, you're not picky. So I'm going to show you something. I hate to mention names, but I am. BlueNile.com. It was a publicly traded company. They started listing diamonds in 1998, I think, because I was just getting out of college. Man, that's a long time ago. Anyways, the other day when I was putting the presentation together, I sorted by 1 carat HSI2, which is pretty common grade. They had 79 different diamonds, ranging in price from 3,400 and, what's that say, 43?
3,483.
Anyway, 34.
83.
3,500
Yeah.
to 5,500.
Yeah.
So how would you know which one to buy? It's pretty impossible to know which one to buy, and in order to demonstrate that, I want to show you guys this. These are roughly, have the exact same lab certificate, but they visibly look a little different. And I'm going to pass these around too, going this way, because these are a great example. These are 3/4 carat. Which one sparkles more?
Okay.
Yeah, but they're the exact same price, exact same color and clarity. Yeah. So you'd have no idea what to buy. And anyways, that's my entire spiel. And if you guys want more information on how to buy diamonds, or you want to see some mountings, or take the diamonds out of the capsule and kind of play with them in mountings and stuff, you can, I guess one of the ladies, or Rob, or I will be on this side of the room, or if you want to see some other jewelry, we'd be glad to help you. And if you guys have questions, you can ask me now, or you could tweet me at Ask Howie K, or at RI Jewelers. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. So,
We just had this today.
thank you all for coming.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.